Be intentional about everything in life. Hello, viewers. This is Be Intentional back on your screen. I'm so glad to be here again with you on our second topic in the series of Be Intentional with Chesca. We are done with grief. We have put grief to bed. Yes. Okay, just for now, I would say we're done with grief. And we are moving on to our second topic or our second series, which I call a connection to the pulpit. What does that mean? What is that? Basically, I'm going to talk about your pastor and my pastor with a focus on honoring him, honoring the man of God. Apparently, the month of October happens to be Pastors Appreciation Month worldwide, and I bet not many of us know about it. Is it necessary? Do we really have to honor them? Do we really have to set a day aside just to celebrate them, just to say thank you, Pastor, just to honor them? Do we have to make a fuss about it? After all, they're doing their jobs. I go to work every day. You go to work every day. You're being paid at the end of the month. Most pastors are being paid these days. And why do we have to honor them? Is it necessary? Do we have to make such a fuss? I'm going to say this. The subject of honor has not received much attention in the Christian world. If you should ask any group of church members what their views are about honoring the pastor, about having a day set aside as the Pastor's Appreciation Day, you'll get diverse answers ranging from those who think that, oh, the church is still growing, we are still a growing church, we are not big in number, we can't really do it. Some also would tell you that we have other projects going on in the church. We're building, we're looking for a church building, or we're building a church. You would hear some people telling you that actually it should be done for those who have worked long or served long as pastors only. You might also find other group of church members saying that they don't think it's necessary, or if it should be done, it should be done for those who have earned it, or those pastors who are genuine, whatever that means. I have no idea, but these are some of the reasons we give to not have to honor these men. And I get it. We might not know what goes into being a pastor apart from standing in the pulpit, preaching, praying for church members. That's it. For some of us, all we know is what the pastor does on Sundays, and ideally that's kind of his working day, so what's the big deal? And I understand you. It's probably just because you don't know what goes on beyond the pulpit, and that is why we have that theme, connecting beyond the pulpit. So on Be Intentional, we're going to find out about our pastors and their lives, and specifically I want to draw you into cultivating the culture of honor, and that is what this is about. Why do we have to honor these pastors? Because first and foremost, as Christians, we call ourselves the church, and God is our Father. We believe God is in heaven. Well, He's dwelling in us, but somehow in part of our minds, God is sitting on His throne in heaven. We know that. The thing with honor is heaven's culture. It's a culture that goes on in heaven. If you are aiming at going to heaven, you cannot know what it means not to honor a person. And guess what? In that culture of honor that is in heaven, you are to celebrate the value of a person's life, even if they don't earn it, even if they haven't earned it. It is in the Bible, and That is what honor is about. So honor is not about the fact that the person has earned it or not earned it. Since it's a culture of heaven, and since we are all aiming at going to heaven, I want to introduce that culture to you. And honestly, I have been so blessed all my life with great men of God in my life, and mostly as pastors. And by great, I don't mean faultless. Not at all. They are nowhere near faultless. I don't mean they have everything perfect going on in their lives. But the thing with honoring someone, as I said earlier, is that honoring someone is simply celebrating who the person is, without having to stumble on their weaknesses, without having to stumble on who they could have been or what they could have done and or could not have done. That is called honor. So now let's get connected beyond the pulpit. And let's just dive into the jobs, into the reality of the pastor's life, the life beyond that pulpit that we witness them on every day. And let's see how it goes for the pastors. Personally, I grew up as a pastor's child. I am a pastor's child. And as far as my experiences and observations were concerned or are still concerned, a pastor's child, a pastor's kid, is not a regular kid. You are just not any child. High expectations are placed on you, not just the child, but the whole family. There is so much expectation that is placed on you. There are so many of them that is placed on you. High standards of values, high standard of lifestyle you need to live. I realized that as a pastor's child, the pastors and their families are their lives are virtually being played in a fishbowl, with all congregation and church members and people in the community having to watch their every move and their every lifestyle. It's just played out there. They are expected to be the ideal family, very perfect in all their ways. The pastor must always be available. Pastor doesn't have to be down. Pastor cannot afford to be depressed or sad. Pastor must have all the answers we need to keep us going, to keep our lives stable, to get our lives moving on. Pastor needs to have the answers. If you're a pastor there and you agree to what I'm saying, just like those buttons and share your views with us. The thing is, we as church members, and if you're a pastor there, just hear me out. The thing is, we as church members, in our minds and in the minds of all congregation, we own you. Yes, we own you. Pardon me, we own you. You belong to us. So pastors are to do what church members want them to do. And for all I can remember as a child, most of our family vacations, that is if you ever get to plan one, is either interrupted or truncated. However, should you ask these pastors, what do they think about their jobs? They would definitely tell you it's not a thankless job. That is the kind of pastor you have. That is the kind of pastor I have.
Be intentional about everything.